Hi, it's Danny from Danny Sports Bar here at Patea, looking ahead at the week in the world of sports. And the Champions League returns this week in Europe, the UEFA Champions League. It returns not for every team that's still involved because the top 8 get a bye through this round. The teams that finish 9th through 24th are playing in the playoff round this week and next week, two-legged games. And yes, it's the teams that finished 9th through 24th, but let's remember the team that won the Champions League last year, Paris Saint-Germain, came through the knockout game this week's games. They're back in it again this week, playing against Monaco. Because yes, at this round, you can play a team from your own country. Also in it again this year, as they were last year, Real Madrid, who won the Champions League 15 times. They got through the knockout stage last year. They ended up losing to Arsenal later on in the tournament. But they're in a kind of tricky game because they play Benfica. Now, Benfica not only is managed by Jose Mourinho, who managed Real Madrid, of course, before, but also Benfica is the reason Real Madrid are in the knockout stage because they beat them on the last day of the league stage. Benfica against Real Madrid is tonight, Tuesday night. Paris Saint-Germain against Monaco. There are 8 games, 4 games each night, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then next week, Tuesday and Wednesday. So as we said, the only Premier League team in was the one that didn't finish in the top 8, Newcastle. They're playing Karabakh, which figures to be the easiest of these knockout games, but we'll see. The other teams that finish in the top 8, the 5 teams in the Premier League that finish the top 8, they won't be playing this week in the Champions League. They'll wait until the round of 16 next week, but at the end of these games, they'll find out who they play in that round of 16. Now, Arsenal are in the top 8. They do have a midweek game this week, Wednesday night, but it's in the Premier League away to Wolves. Wolves only won 1 game all season. That Arsenal are playing Wolves this week because Arsenal are in the Carabao Cup final and they moved the game forward. Man City also in the Carabao Cup final. They could not move their game forward because their game that week is against Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace are in the Europa Conference League knockout phase on Thursday. So they'll have to find out another time to play that game sometime between now and the end of the season. Now the result of that is we go into this week Arsenal holding a 4-point lead in the Premier League over Manchester City in second place. Should they beat Wolves, which you would figure they would, that lead would increase. Now, of course, Man City, with that game to make up against Crystal Palace, could pick up on it. But it is getting a little bit close at the top of the table. This weekend, when we have a full weekend of Premier League games, Man City will be playing Newcastle. Newcastle not in the best of form, but normally you would think that would not be the easiest game. Arsenal are away to Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur not having a great season, but they just changed managers, and sometimes you have a new manager bounce. Also, well, Arsenal have won in each of their last 3 visits to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Before that, from 2007 through 2022, Arsenal only won 1 away game against Tottenham. So it's not necessarily an automatic win that you would think just judging by where they are in the table. But those are the big games this week. Man City, Newcastle's late night on Saturday night, 3 a.m. Arsenal playing away to Tottenham Hotspur. That's on Sunday night at 11:30. Also this week, the Winter Olympics. We go through the final week, the second and final week of the Winter Olympics. A lot of things going on in that. We won't be able to talk about all of them. But, and I know some people used to me talking about hockey at the Olympics, but I get excited about it because the NHL players playing in it for the first time in 12 years. And this week we get to the knockout stage of the hockey. There's a knockout playoff tonight, Tuesday night, setting up the quarterfinals, which are Wednesday. 4 games in the quarterfinals. Canada's game, Canada, the top seed, they're playing at 10:40. The USA will be at 3 a.m. Canada will possibly be playing the Czech Republic, who they've already beaten in the tournament. Same with the U.S. possibly playing, they're possibly playing Sweden, who they haven't played yet, but that would go through the semifinals of that tournament then will be on Friday. The final, a lot of people still expect it to be the USA against Canada, will be Sunday at 8:10 p.m. Also on Sunday, as we said, Premier League, we got Liverpool playing at 9 o'clock. The Six Nations is back this weekend with the 3rd week of the Six Nations. Ireland go to Twickenham to play England. Both those teams already have a loss. France, 2 wins, no losses. France will be playing Italy this week. Ireland and England really, if either one of them has any hope of winning the Six Nations this year, they pretty much have to win this week when they play each other. So both of them 1-1 so far. That's what's going on. We also have the T20 Cricket World Cup. On Saturday, that goes into the second phase of the tournament, the Super 8. England not too impressive in the preliminary phase, but they did qualify for the Super 8. Australia has not yet qualified for the Super 8 and really in danger of not qualifying, which would be a surprise and also real disappointment for Australian cricket. There's some games later in the week. If all the results go their way, they could get in, but they really need a bunch of results to go their way. The Super 8 phase starts on Saturday, goes for about a week, then a week and a half. Then on March 8th is the final. We have the semifinals and the final going in that tournament. So still a little ways to go in the Cricket World Cup. Baseball, we're starting off with spring training. Teams have reported to Arizona and Florida. We don't have really anything to show on TV yet. There will be spring training games in about another week. And of course this year, the World Baseball Classic starting next month, going on in North America and also in Japan. We'll have some of those games for you here at Danny's. Stay with us, come see us.